Everybody knows the trick that won England.
Norman knights charge the shield wall, break, run, and when the English come off the hill to chase them, the horsemen turn round and kill them in the open. Almost nobody knows the other man used it first.
24 days before Hastings, at Fulford outside York.
Harald Hardrada ran a feigned retreat against an English army and won a battle with it. The Northumbrians came off their shield wall to chase him. He poured men into the gap they left, got in behind them, turned the flank, and by evening he had York.
He was dead 5 days later.
William landed 3 days after that. They miss each other by 3 weeks. Both men are real, and both are in England in October 1066.
The ridge is ours by sunset. Advance!
This meeting is not, and neither are the numbers.
At first light, a Norman scouting party rides too close to a ridge above the London road, and something on that crest takes 4 of them off their horses in about 6 seconds.
The famous trick is already off the table.
One of these men has run it here this month.
And remembers exactly what it looks like from the winning side. Which leaves a harder question. Hardrada put 2,000 professional axemen on that hill, and a shield wall like that beats cavalry for as long as it stands still. And Harald Sigurdsson has never once in 30 years won a battle by standing still.
Hardrada gets to the ridge first.
And the 4 dead scouts are how William finds out. It is a chalk swell with the London road going over the top of it, a 1/4 mile of crest, and a southern face steep enough that a horse cannot come up it faster than a trot.
There is a shield wall on it by the time the Normans arrive.
And William does what commanders do when they are told something and want to see it for themselves. He sends 100 men up the hill, not an attack, a test, mounted, at a canter, angling across the slope to make the Norse show him the shape of the line, and it tells him everything in about 4 minutes in the most expensive way available. The wall does not move to meet them. It waits, and the horses arrive at the top of a slope, having spent everything they had getting there, and the axes come out over the shields, and 11 of the 100 do not come back down. William watches a man he has known for years get taken off a horse by something swung two-handed and disappear below the level of the shields.
He has never solved that problem in 15 years of fighting.
And there is a difference between knowing it and watching it happen to 11 men. He cannot go round.
Behind William is a beachhead and a fleet that will not carry him home again this season.
In front of him is the London road.
Hardrada is no better placed.
Sire, the ships are cut off.
Hardrada cannot wait forever either. 300 ships brought him here, 1/3 of his men are still guarding them, and winter is coming. But only one of them has to force a decision. William has to destroy this army.
We must destroy that army.
Hardrada only has to still have one at dusk. A Norse force that reaches its ships can leave, wait for spring, and come back, which is what Norse forces have done to England for 200 years, and it is the reason William is in the country at all. So William has to make the man on the hill move. That night, the Normans build fires at the bottom of the slope, and the Norse stand a watch they do not need. In the morning, William sends the archers forward, and for an hour almost nothing happens. Shooting uphill puts arrows into raised shields, or carries them clean over the crest into the grass behind. A Norwegian in the second rank hears the arrowheads knock against linden 3 or 4 a minute, and stops flinching. One comes in low and takes a man near him through the shin. He swears and keeps standing, because there is nowhere to go. The important part is what does not happen. Nobody shoots back.
There are perhaps 100 bows in the whole Norse army.
And Hardrada cannot afford to pull those men out of the wall. The arrows are not hurting him yet. But William has just learned that he can shoot for as long as he likes and never be answered. Then the horns go, and the knights come up the hill. They come at a trot, because the slope will allow nothing faster, and that kills the charge before it reaches the shields. A couched lance is momentum and nothing else. A horse, climbing into a shield boss, delivers a shove. The wall gives one step, then the axes come over it. The axeman beside our Norwegian steps through a gap and brings 5 feet of haft down across the side of a horse's head, and the animal disappears underneath its own rider. The man comes off forward into people who have been waiting all morning for something to do, and what happens to him next happens below the level of the shields, where nobody can see it. The next charge ends the same way, and the next.
By mid-morning, 40 dead horses lie on the slope.
A scatter of men in expensive mail lying among them, and a crest exactly where it was at dawn. But William has seen something else.
The men swinging those axes need both hands. They have no shields of their own.
For now, the man beside them is covering them. For now.
And now Hardrada does the thing nobody expects. He attacks.
This is the man who spent 10 years in Byzantine service, and every victory of his life going forward. The Norman archers have been walking up to 60 yards to shoot. They are in front of their own infantry, and they are not armored.
Hardrada can see it from the crest.
Anybody could see it. The difference is that he is willing to come off a hill to take it. 600 men come down the slope at a run, without waiting for an order to be repeated. The archers do not stand. Nobody expects archers to.
They do not get away either.
And the Norse reach them in the open with axes, and for about 90 seconds, the bottom of that hill is the worst place in England. Bowmen are killed running. Then the Norse hit the Breton infantry behind them, downhill, at speed.
The Breton line does not bend. It comes apart.
William's left genuinely breaks.
That is not a trick!
Men run into the marsh. Horses go over.
Carmony's undone!
Somebody shouts that the Duke is dead.
The Duke is dead!
And for a few minutes in the middle of the day, William of Normandy is watching his own army disappear on ground he chose. Then he rides directly into it.
Coast-Goater!
He pushes his helmet back off his face.
Look at me! I still live!
So they can see him, and turns the route around with his own body, which is the bravest thing anyone does all day, and is also the only thing that saves him. And while he is doing it, the Norse are still below the hill, and the Norman knights on the opposite wing are beginning to turn toward them. Hardrada sees it first.
Hold the ridge!
He has been on the winning end of exactly this. Men off a hill, strung out, delighted with themselves, and the recall sounds while there is still something to recall. Most of them come back up the slope, not all of them. He has destroyed most of William's archers and broken an entire wing.
They do not all come back.
He has spent 400 men doing it. Hardrada has just come closer to winning than he will all day, and made his shield wall thinner to do it.
Which is when William tries the trick.
A block of horse on the left checks, turns, and streams away downhill in what looks exactly like a rout. Reins loose, men shouting, one of them off his horse and running.
It is convincing because they watched a real rout an hour ago.
On that same ground, the Norse wall does not move. Not one man. Every captain on that ridge has been told what this is, in detail, by a man who ran it himself outside York 24 days ago and watched an English army come off a hill to chase him. There is nothing on that slope Hardrada has not already done to somebody else. The Bretons ride 400 yards, slow, and look back at a hill that has not changed.
That is the moment Hardrada wins this battle.
The maneuver that takes England in the real world has just failed completely, on the only commander in Europe who could not be sold it. So William stops trying to move the wall. He starts killing the men inside it. The archers come forward again.
Archers, aim high!
What is left of them, reinforced from the ships. But this time they do not shoot at the shields. They shoot over them. In the morning, Norman arrows hit the front of the wall. In the afternoon, they fall behind it. The bows rise. The arrows climb almost vertically and drop into the second and third ranks. A man in front has his shield angled down at the horses, because that is where the danger has been all day, and the arrow does not come from there. It comes out of the sky, into necks and shoulders and upturned faces. And the men standing there are the axemen. Both hands on the weapon, no shield. Our Norwegian's neighbor takes one through the collarbone and goes down without a sound. Now the man beside him has nobody covering his open side. Another shower comes down, then another.
There is nothing to fight. No rider to kill, no charge to hold off.
Just men walking back and forth to the arrow carts.
The wall does not break, it thins.
3 ranks become 2, 2 become 1, and Hardrada is running out of hill. Hardrada now has 2 choices: stand there and let the wall disappear 1 man at a time,
We hold this ridge. There is no second option.
or attack, and attacking worked this morning. That is the trap. It is not something William invented. It is Hardrada's own best hour of the day, telling him to do it again. Except William has spent the afternoon preparing for exactly that decision. This morning the archers were in front of their own infantry, and the knights were out on the wings.
We do not wait! Take the ridge to them!
This afternoon, the archers are in front, the infantry is behind them, and the knights are waiting behind both. Hardrada looks downhill. Then he takes the ridge to them, because the alternative is standing still.
The archers
And Harald
run again.
Sigurdsson has
The
never
archers
once
run
won a
again.
battle by standing still. For 200 yards, it looks exactly like the morning. The archers run. The Norse reach the infantry. Then the second line holds, because it was placed to hold, and the cavalry comes in from both sides. The Norse are not a shield wall anymore. A shield wall going downhill at a run is a crowd. And the axemen on its edges are swinging 2-handed weapons at riders arriving from directions they cannot see.
Nobody is left to cover them.
Hardrada is at the front. There was never a version of this battle where he would be anywhere else.
Drive them into the marsh! Now, strike them!
What comes off that hill at dusk is not an army. The men who went down do not come back up. The ones still on the crest, the wounded, the ones too far back to have been in the charge, watch the bottom of the hill for a while, and then start east toward a river and 300 ships, and most of them do not get there. William holds the ridge, the road, and about half the horses he brought. Hardrada destroyed most of an archer corps, broke a Norman wing.
He put William in the middle of his own collapsing army.
And then watched the trick that took England run past his line and did not move a man.
Under these conditions, William wins.
Not because the famous feigned retreat worked. It failed. William wins because he found a shield wall he could not move and stopped trying to move it. High-angle arrows thinned the men behind the shields until Hardrada had one answer left, which was to come down the hill, and coming down the hill had already worked once that day. That is what killed him. Nobody could answer the shooting, because there were 100 bows in an army of 10,000. That is not a mistake Hardrada made. It is what a Norse army was for 2 centuries, and nothing had ever made it matter.
Move the knights behind the bowmen. Close up the ranks. Hold the line.
It cost William half his horses and most of a day. It cost Hardrada the last Viking army in Europe. Give him enough archers to make the shooting go both ways, and that wall may still be standing at dusk.
The variable is the one arm the Norse never built.
The figures are modeled rather than recorded, and the heaviest assumption is the ridge itself. The axeman never had a shield. He was covered by the man on his left, the way axemen always were, and by late afternoon, that man was gone, and nobody had replaced him, and he stood there anyway, holding a weapon that could kill a horse, waiting for a horse that had stopped coming.